Is it time to reveal your real magic and become seen, known, and valued? Hello, and welcome to this week's Visionary Voices Deep Dive Live. And today we are talking about, are you ready to be visible? So if you're here watching this live or watching the recording, just post in the comments wherever you're watching this, hello or replay, or share where you're watching us from. So it's lovely to be with you today, and I'm recording this in the end of August. So it's a beautiful time in terms of talking about, are you ready to be visible? It's coming up to the new school year. We often have a sense of, in the fall, that's when you begin your new projects, new education. Hopefully, if you're well rested after a beautiful summer, you're getting back into the game, finding your rhythm again after being well rested, and exploring, how is it that you want to be showing up? What's the next level of visibility that's calling you? And one of the reason I'm also making this video for you is because one of the most common habits of hiding that I see, that I observe in myself and that I see in my clients, is this idea of getting ready to be ready. So do you resonate with that idea of getting ready to be ready? And this can show up as the classic procrastination. It can also show up as perfectionism, and it can also show up as endless training, and preparing to be ready. It can show up as playing small as well, and just not following through on your inner nudges and prioritizing the things that your visions, your dreams, your clearest moments are calling you to show up as. So share with me, what is your experience around this topic? What is it that you can really connect with here? What's your experience? Have you ever noticed yourself getting ready to be ready? What's your experience around your habits of hiding? So, yeah, I'd love to hear from you and what's your experience. So let's dive in. So beginning with, what are the telltale signs that you're stuck in preparation mode rather than committing to actually being seen, known, and valued, that you're getting ready to be ready rather than being ready, even if you don't feel ready? I am actually ready, even if I'm not feeling it. So, one of those is, I mentioned a few already, but just to go into greater detail with these, stuck in training mode is one. And that might look like, so these are the telltale signs, that might look like signing up for freebies that you don't have the time to really digest. So signing up and not attending, or signing up and being half engaged but not fully present with the content that you're engaging with. Signing up for free training where you have no intention of committing to the deeper training that trainer might be offering, where you're kind of going, again, I'm half in, I've got one foot in the door, one foot out the door, I'm just checking it out, but I'm not really committing. So in training mode rather than in doing it. And then also, signing up for training that's not a fit for where you are now. So, and that can be, it's too high a level, it's too low a level, it's not the right time for you, for your right next step. So I remember, signing up for a program that was, good few $1,000 investment before I'd even started my business. And in a time of my life where I had no capacity to engage with it, I was, full up with being a CEO and doing my job, and it just was not the right time for me. I didn't have the capacity, and with hindsight, it definitely wasn't the right strategy for me either. So even if I had done it, it wasn't the right one. So it's easy to get hooked in to signing up for things like that. So that's number one sign that you're getting ready to be ready, is you're stuck in training mode and actually not getting benefits out of the training that you're giving your energy to. So the second sign that you're in training mode is a sense of avoiding things as well. So procrastination. So what is it you can relate to here in training mode? Just tell me in the comments, what do you recognize in that being in training mode in terms of feeling, I'm not ready, I need to prepare and do more training to be ready, whether it's more certifications or more healing, more transformation, more business training. What is it? Because there's nothing wrong with training. This is just training that's not bringing you results. So it's a form of procrastination. So avoiding, so procrastinate, not prioritizing what you already know you really need to focus on next. So that might be your website, it might be writing content for your blog, podcast, your live, whatever that is. It might be launching your offer or project. So putting it out there, inviting people to go deeper with you. It might be growing your reach, having a bigger audience. It might be, a new social media platform that you're adding to your list or experimenting with. It could be a very simple strategy of reaching out to connect with individuals, to invite them into conversations, to create connection. So that kind of networking strategy, it doesn't have to be online. It can be going to networking groups or reaching out to people who are in your network. So what is it that you know that you need to focus on that you haven't been doing? What is it that you're procrastinating on? And this is when you have a sneaky sense that there's something that you're avoiding. And maybe you know what it is. Maybe you can't quite see what it is. You're just not quite getting into your own rhythm with your invitations, with your sharing your wisdom and your message. And another great way of avoiding, which is really common, no shame or in any of these, we're all in this together. So, but another great way of avoiding is feeling overwhelmed due to overcommitting your energy to too many things. So there's no time left for your priority projects. And this can be a really sneaky one, and it can also bring in overgiving. I'm going to help all of these people. I'm going to make their priorities my priorities and put them first. It can be a habit of overdoing. So you're kind of going, my default is to be really busy and to be the octopus on roller skates, with my energy in all of these different places and not able to actually move forward on any of them. Like your fingers in too many pies. So what do you resonate with here? So, and this all can look like spinning your wheels, planning all of the things, but without a clear step-by-step strategy that feels aligned with your gifts and talents and doable for you and aligned with your right next steps. So, and then the third sign that you might be getting ready to be ready and not actually stepping forward and being ready is a lack of consistency. So, the last one was avoiding, and then the lack of consistency is feeling that you're starting over. again and again and again. And it takes a lot of energy to create a new visibility activity. And then when you let it lapse and you have to start again, and I don't know if that's me, that's really hard to sustain when you're stop-start and you don't have this consistency. And again, this is a really common one. So, you know, my heart is with you if that's where you are. And also what this looks like is not making decisions on and committing to a regular rhythm and schedule for your visibility activities, whatever that is for you. So it might be, you know, writing a blog, an email, social posts, you know, doing lives, recording videos, podcast, all kinds of things. And whatever schedule works for you, whether that's once a month, once a fortnight, once every 2 months, whatever that is for you, but having that consistency, this is what I'm doing, this is when I'm doing it. And also as part of that, not making offers regularly enough to grow your business. So let me know. Hi, Diana, lovely. Yes, so starting to show what creating, but not putting goals in time. Yes, so beautiful. So that's a good one. So there isn't, you know, in terms of the consistency, there isn't a time scale to what you're creating. So just want to share, you know, this a bit of an inspiring poem by David Whyte, which is speaking to this piece of the telltale strategies of getting ready to be ready and having your energy scattered. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way of starting the conversation. So just breathe this in, what's resonating for you here. If you were to start close in, don't start with the second step or the third, start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. And so that's a piece of the David Whyte poem, Start Close In. And that leads us beautifully into the second aspect I want to talk to, which is resistance. So the step you don't want to take. Often when we're taking our visibility to the next level, so really stepping into the next level, resistance is normal. And I really want to say there's nothing wrong if you're feeling, you know, that procrastination, that resistance, that habit of hiding, of getting ready to be ready. Your resistance is trying to protect you. Your resistance is trying to keep you safe. We can say, hello, resistance, my old friend. It's nice to see you. It's, you know, it's okay. It's okay that you're here. It's a powerful protection mechanism. And often it's generations old. It's in the collective. There's a reason that this is so common. It can come from our ancestors. It can come from soul memories. It can have very, very deep roots. And one of the key mistakes is that we try and push past our resistance. And often when we try and push past resistance, that's when we often sign up for programs that are actually not right for us, that are not the right time or not the right strategy, that end up not producing the results. So pushing past your resistance because you're beating yourself up for resisting doesn't always go well. And it often comes from making yourself wrong, telling yourself that there's something wrong with you, and you know, committing then to something that reinforces that belief that this isn't working for me either, there's something wrong with me. So it's another way to stay in getting ready to be ready mode. So, and sometimes what's underneath your resistance, and I just want to share with me, hi Annette, don't worry, lovely to see you. Yeah, with resistance, it's like when we dance around it, we can be in avoiding. When we push past it, we can often get out of alignment with where we need to be, with where our soul is calling us. And often what we are dancing around is what's underneath the resistance. The thing that our resistance is trying to protect us from facing and feeling, because the generations before us were not able to face it and move through it. And we are. If you're here in your my community, I know that you are able to move through it. And this is about dancing around the core visibility and energetic wounds that we carry. So we avoid facing the feelings underneath, which might be shame, which might be the fear, which might be the feeling of it's not safe, overwhelm, and tenderness. And we haven't always known how to hold it, how to generate our own safety through turning towards the resistance and the feelings that are underneath them as well. So being a loving witness. If you find yourself that you're not moving forward, that you're getting ready to be ready and you're not moving forward, how can you be a loving witness to the resistance, to the tender feelings underneath? And what does this vulnerable core of your resistance need? You know, what is it feeling, this part of you? What does it need? How can you hold space for that? Because often what's underneath is a deep fear of rejection and old memories of when we experienced rejection in the past, whether it's from this life or in our childhood or earlier in our life in some ways, or whether it's from ancestral memories, soul memories, collective memories. So it's fear of rejection, this fear of judgment. And that can come, back on you as self-judgment, doubting yourself. Just feeling uncomfortable and unsafe, the sense of feeling exposed when you share your soul-guided offering. So it's so important to turn towards and hold space for those tender, vulnerable feelings so you can actually take the right step, because often the right step, as David Whyte said in his poem, start close in with the step you don't want to take. Often the right step can feel the most vulnerable of all, whereas something that somebody else's ideas, but not really your soul calling, can feel a bit safer. So let me know what you're sharing. What's your process for turning towards your resistance and being a loving witness to the step that's underneath? And that's such a beautiful way of getting ready to be ready. And so the last point I'm going to speak about today is how to activate your potent, powerful devotion and really declare your readiness to take your next big, bold baby step. And one of the most powerful ways of doing this is to take on a project, a visibility breakthrough project, something real, something tangible, something that involves you getting out there, not just working behind the scenes. So that's not creating a website, that's launching a website. That's not writing a book, that's launching your book. So it's really putting yourself out there in some way. And what we often, mistake that we often make around putting ourselves out there is that we make it all about the results. And so if it doesn't go well, we kind of think, not meant to be, I'm gonna step back. But actually taking on these like destiny projects is about who you are becoming through doing these activities, taking on this soul guided project because who you are afterwards is different to who you are before you took that step. So I know for me, you know, my biggest visibility breakthrough before I even started my business was getting a call to create an online summit. And this was 4 years before I set up my business. So, but I had this calling to step into visibility, was creating the Poetry Alchemy 4 Our Times online series where I interviewed people about poems that had transformed their lives, and interviewed really key teachers and leaders. And I was terrified because it involved setting up a website. It involved recording a video and putting myself online, and I was in tears doing that. It involved creating a mailing list and really putting myself out there to share this beautiful work that I was so passionate about. And, you know, it was the beginnings of my mailing list. It was the beginnings of my business. So when I did set that up, I already had an audience, and I had learned so much from doing this as well. So, but it was very terrifying. But who I was on the other side of that was completely different to who I was before I did that. And since then, there's been so many, you know, tangible projects that have created real engagement with people, creating this Facebook group and not just, you know, and filling it and keeping it alive, doing the weekly lives that I do now, doing the weekly blogs, the weekly emails. And this year it was a YouTube channel. So that was my breakthrough project this year. And then also the launches that I've done, the poetry challenges, the Potent Presence challenge, the Heal the Witch Wound, you know, so whether it's a webinar, whether it's a 5-day challenge, who I was on the other side of each of those events was completely different. So there's nothing that compares to taking on a visibility breakthrough project and seeing it through to the other side. And that's you. I am ready. Even if I don't feel ready, I am ready, and really committing to that. There's no substitute for being in the arena. And this is building your capacity to be visible through taking the outer actions and doing the inner work to hold space for the wobbles, the resistance that come up. And this is like the left foot and the right foot, the inner work, the outer work, holding space for all that comes up, taking the next step to create your soul-aligned project. And what this generates in you, you know, this capacity to be visible, which is like, you know, they have that metaphor of give someone a fish or teach them how to fish. So if somebody came along and gave you an audience and you could show up in front of them, that's like giving you a fish, and that's valuable. We say, thank you, I'll receive those opportunities to speak in front of other people's audiences or get that support. But when somebody teaches you how to fish, when you develop the muscle of showing up at next level visibility, and you know how to take the steps, you know what's aligned for you, that's teaching you how to fish, and you can go and catch a fish whenever you like. So let me know what you are resonating with here. What is it that speaks to you about this topic? And, you know, it's really beautiful. And this is something I'm going to be inviting you into in a few weeks' time. I will let you know, but save the date, 21st of September. I'm going to be offering an invitation to explore more deeply this idea of the visibility breakthrough project. So I'll tell you more about that next week. And I just want to finish with a poem to activate your potent devotion to your visibility project and to you getting ready to be ready. And this is a poem I wrote called Vow. What if all were changed now? What if the world opened at the touch of your pen and laid itself bare before you? What if the discipline of listening was born in this moment and each that arrives and arrives? What if I followed that thread on the page and beyond to see how my life would unfold? What if I gave my word to a voice that is real and gave my word to the world? What if all this was true? I pledge myself and say, I do. So just sensing and feeling what's activated in you with it as a result of all of this. And what are you taking away from this? What are you sensing about your own getting ready to be ready strategies, your own habits of hiding? What resonates most with you there in what I shared? And what are your ways of holding space, of turning towards the resistance and the sticky, tender feelings underneath? How confident do you feel in your capacity to hold space for all that arises? And do you have a sense of a potent devotion to a project, a soul-aligned creation that's calling you, that wants to be born through you, that will enable you to become even more of who you are and teach you to grow your capacity for visibility? So, hi, Jackie. I have that poem on my board. Thank you for the reminder. It feels time to start my blog. Beautiful, Jackie. That's why I'm doing this at this time of year. It's really good to restart our activities if you've had a good rest over the summer as well. Annette, I'm still processing this. That's beautiful. Annette, stay with that. And I will be sharing an invitation to explore this on a deeper level in a few weeks' time. I'll tell you more next week. So in the meantime, have a great week and continue sharing your comments, your takeaways, what you received from this today, and I will respond to them in the group. Bye for now.